This video is going to describe Chapter 4.3, solving equations by adding or subtracting. So I want you to think of algebra almost as a balance, right? And so whatever I take and I put on this side is going to make my balance swing up, which means that I would then need to add or subtract the same to the other side to even it back out again. And same thing can be said for this side with the 5. If I were to add something to the 5, my balance would start to go down as this side would get heavier, meaning I need to now add something to this side so that it can straighten itself out again. So this balance is kind of like my equal sign. So if you take a look at the first problem, x minus 7 equals negative 4. The idea is I want to isolate the variable, right? So if you think about what the word isolate means, I need to get this x by itself. And so in order for me to do that, I right now have this minus 7, or if you want to think of it as negative 7. And then I need to take this negative 4, and so I want to leave this over on the right side. I want to keep this x on the left side. So in order to get rid of negative 7, I need to do the opposite of negative 7, which is positive 7. So I'm going to add 7 to this side. I'm going to add 7 to this side. Negative 7 plus 7, this becomes x, right? Because negative 7 plus 7 is 0. So I just am left with this x. This will cancel itself out. Negative 7 plus 7 is 0, so I don't have to write x plus 0. Equals negative 4 plus 7, this is positive 3. So x equals 3. Now, if I want to check my answer, what I can do is take this 3, I can plug it back in up here, and I go 3 minus 7. And this should equal negative 4. If that statement is true, then this is correct. If that statement is not true, then I need to rethink it, figure out a different way to solve the problem. Obviously, this statement will work. So taking a look now at a second problem. Now just keep in mind that it's kind of flipped to the other side, but I got 23 equals y plus 10. And so again, I want to isolate the variable, I want to get the y by itself. I currently have this positive 10 over here, so I need to do the opposite of positive 10, which is negative 10. Keep in mind that negative 10 means that I'm subtracting. 10 minus 10 is 0. That will cancel itself out, so I'm left with y on this side. 23 minus 10 is 13. 13 equals y. So again, to check this, what I would need to do is take my 13 and plug it back in here, and so I should get 23 equals 13 plus 10. If that statement is true, then I'm correct. If it's not, then I'm wrong. And as you can see, obviously 13 will work. It is correct. All right, and then finally, what happens if it's a fraction? So fractions are going to work the same exact way as numbers since they are numbers. Maybe numbers that you don't like as much, but they are numbers. And so what I want to do is probably the easiest thing is to get this into a common denominator. So I'm going to move this stuff down. So I'm going to get a common denominator of 6. So to get this so that it has a 6 as a denominator, I had to multiply 3 times 2 to get to 6. So I'm going to take 1 times 2, and that's 2. So I got 2 6 plus x equals 5 6. So now I have a problem very similar before, and so since I have 2 6 plus x, this is a positive 2 6, so I'm going to do the opposite of that, which is subtract, or minus 2 6, or negative 2 6 to both sides. Again, this will cancel itself out, so I'm left with x equals 5 6 minus 2 6 is 3 6. And then obviously, I would want to simplify that, and so this becomes x equals 1/2. Now, again, I can take this 1/2, I can substitute it back up here and make sure that it works. And so if I want to make them all into 6, this would be 2 6 plus 3 6, which is the same as 1/2, equals 5 6. If that statement is true, then this answer is correct. If that statement were not true, then I would be wrong. I want to go back and check and make sure what I did. All right, so that's all I got for you for adding and subtracting. Keep in mind this is kind of our first foray into algebra. So kind of carefully solve these problems, make sure that we're checking our answers. Don't forget to do the problems on the bottom of the page. See you in class.